Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to cover the topic of fan baiting, and as a part of that I'll be covering this story here. Halle Bailey says seeing a black version of Ariel would have changed my whole outlook on life. I'll note that that Halle Bailey was relatively quiet on this topic, and she stayed quiet for several weeks. Now let's remember that the trailer came out on September 9th, and this story about her came out on September 22nd. So here we are a full 2 weeks later, basically, and most of the hype around the disaster that is this trailer getting absolutely ratioed, now sitting at 2.9 million downvotes to 1.1 million upvotes. So again, the upvoters are again still surging in to try to upvote this trailer, but it continues to get ratioed. We are sitting at a 3-to-1 ratio on this thing. And again, getting back to the main topic here, what was the delay in her speaking on this? And either she wanted to speak on this right away, or this was intentionally delayed. I don't know why she would have this important thing to say and not say it at all, but who knows, whatever. There was an interview, and as a part of this interview, Halle Bailey finally says, hey, seeing a black version of Ariel would have changed my whole outlook on life. And I really feel like the timing of this whole article is a little bit suspect, and I think the whole intention of it is to sort of reignite the flames around this trailer and around this movie. It simply seems to be more fan baiting, in my opinion. And then I have to ask this question here: how would this have changed her outlook on life? I mean, this is a person who is an actress and a singer. She seems like a pretty successful person, but seeing a black version of Ariel would have changed her whole life, her whole outlook on life. I don't know. She never ever explains this, so I'm not going to dive into the article per se, because there's nothing in the article to talk about. She never explains how this would have changed her life, why this would have changed her life, other than I see a black person and I'm a black person. So while I think it's important to have representation, and I don't know where she was for the animated cartoon that came out, which definitely had a black mermaid, didn't have black Ariel, but it had a black mermaid. So why did that not change her life? I mean, that exists. She could have seen a black mermaid. If that's what her argument is, then her life should have been changed already. I mean, I thought this was about being able to identify or see someone that looks like yourself. And if that's the case, then there was a whole cartoon. I don't know. Maybe the cartoon was no longer on. Maybe she wasn't aware of it. Who knows? But it's just a little weird then that she would say, hey, I need to see this. And then she could have seen it, but that wasn't good enough. She needed to see the main character. Now, that aside, that's fine, right? You want to see the main character, then we could have had this movie be something different. We could have had this movie literally be about any of a dozen African stories about black mermaids that I've talked about before on this channel. But again, no, we need to race swap a specific character. And again, I think all this boils down to fan baiting and trying to entice certain fans to be angry, right? What happens with these shows is they go through with this thing, they do some sort of woke stuff where they're gonna race swap a character or gender swap a character, and then they make it all about identity and identity politics. They don't care about the story anymore. And I think there's no better way to sum this up than this post right here. Audiences don't hate diverse characters, and I absolutely stand by that. And I don't care. I'm probably not going to watch this Little Mermaid movie anyways, so whatever. I mean, do whatever you want. This says audiences don't hate diverse characters. What they hate is being slammed as bigots for rejecting bad work from pretentious, unskilled activists who pose as writers. If the demography of your characters becomes more important than the story, your story will probably suck. And in fact, that is exactly what we've seen. These stories are terrible. They're not entertaining. They're about as entertaining as, well, basically just watching a live action remake of a movie that you've already seen. Yeah, that's exactly what we're getting, only we're getting the main character race swap. Now, this happens all the time, and we're basically told then, well, you're not the audience, so if you don't like it, then don't watch it. And if don't like it, don't watch it sounds familiar to you, well, it should.
If you don't like it, don't watch it.
But let's not forget how that turned out for G4 TV, or how it turned out for Frost herself. Yeah, it doesn't look good when you take this tactic of attacking your fan base. You know, and then when these groups end up floundering after they've alienated the majority of their viewers and their core audience, then they claim they're failing because of review brigading or misogyny or some sort of ists or phobes or trolls or whatever. It's whatever they need to come up with as an excuse for that moment. So it seems clear that when they say don't like it, don't watch it, they don't actually mean it. They mean they're looking to have a scapegoat, someone to blame for the poor performance of their movie that they know is coming because, well, in Disney's case, they're creatively bankrupt. All they're doing is the copy pasta with their old films. They can't even be bothered to try to do something new, even though there's ample source material out there that they could draw from. In any case, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. My thoughts is that this movie, in this case, is probably, I mean, don't get me wrong, The Little Mermaid is still going to make money. It's going to draw in huge audiences. But the question is, will it make a profit or will it have any staying power in the box office? That remains to be seen. I'm certainly skeptical given the performance of other live action remakes. That's just my thoughts. If you want to continue to smash the narrative and support the channel, then please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. We're currently making a push for 1,000 subscribers, and every subscriber counts. So if you enjoy the content that you're seeing, then please do subscribe. That's all I have for now, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.